This scheme is twofold. The first, the fund will come to ANRF and they will be the first level custodian of the fund, that is first level fund manager. And thereafter, it will come to second level fund manager from ANRF. And today, TDB, along with our sister concern BIRAC, has already been selected as a second level fund manager. And from the second level fund manager, the fund will be given to eligible technology entity. This is also defined under RDIF investment guidelines. So today we are here to just mark that link between a second level fund manager of TDB and the ETE, that eligible technology entity. So we are going to launch the call so that after just once this is launched, and eligible technology entity can start submitting their application. I will quickly go through about the TDBs and its role played by TDB. We are a statutory body and we have experience of almost 30 years. So fortunately this year happens to be 30th year of the TDB, and we are going to celebrate our 30th foundation day on 1st of September 2026. That's very significant. And throughout this year, TDB has supported many path-breaking technologies, some of them deep tech. And our size of tickets ranges from 10 lakhs to even 250 crores. And we have 24/7, we accept proposal and we do not charge anything from the project with proponent who comes to us. So it is all cost borne by us. And we are here for commercialization, and we used to do it TRL 6 and 7 onwards. But through RDIF fund, we are going to do it from TRL 4. So we are set up all the processes, we have attuned so that we can fund them. So just glimpses of TDBs over the past, you can see TDB has supported many path-breaking projects. You can see Tata Motors Indica project in their TDB has supported. The first EV vehicle by Reva TDB supported. And recently, during our Honorable Minister's presence, we have launched that Bot Lab Dynamics. This is the first project which I signed, and today they are talk of the town. In fact, in Somnath Mandir also, they have performed this drone. So they performed in Prayagraj, they're a big company now. Dhruva in space technology. The first from rare earth oxide to magnet and to motor. There is a composite project supported by TDB is coming up in Hyderabad. Most probably the first production, indigenous production under indigenous technology will start from the March itself. In past also you can see two of the project, that is hepatitis B vaccine. Way back in 96, 97 when Dr. Ella Krishna and Dr. Santa Biotech came in India, wanted to produce this vaccine. That time we used to import as a $25. But there was dearth of financing. TDB has supported their first project and they started manufacturing in India, and the prices came down to $1 from $25. So this is the kind of impact TDB has done it. So TDB has that strength through which we can perform, and I can assure the dignity on dais and my media friends that we will be doing good job as far as second level fund manager is concerned. Now, who will come to us? I can see some of the potential ETs, eligible technology entities, we see in and around in Delhi is with me. So as per the guidelines, anybody who are engaged in RDI innovative intensive technology and they are TRL 4 and above, they can come to us. They can be registered under a Company Act 2013 or partnership under India Partnership Act, limited liability partnership also, or a startup as per DPIIT guidelines, they can come. And one unique feature which is there in the implementation guidelines, just to build Indian capability, this eligible technology is supposed to be controlled by resident Indian, and they should have registered under Indian laws. Their patent also should be registered under Indian laws, and usage as may be controlled by the government of India in case of securities under export control applies. So that's through this funding we are to build the Indian capability as well. So now the salient feature of this RDI funding from the TDB which we are going to do is, as I said, right now till such time from the TDB core funding. By the way, we are not going to close TDB core funding. That will continue for the commercialization, but that will be TRL 6-7 onward. Through RDI fund, we are going to do it from TRL 4 onwards. And evaluation will be strictly as per the commercial merit, scientific, technology, and financial merit of the project. And we have already set up an expert committee to evaluate this project, and I am happy that the chairperson of expert committee is today with us, Dr. Saurabh Srivastava sir, and under his guidance, we are proceeding, and we have a good mix of industrial and investment background personnel in our investment committee. Then the proposal submission will be through this open call throughout the year, 24/7, 365 days, we are going to accept the proposal, and we have decided that we will evaluate this in batches. Maybe for 15 days or 10 days, if I get good number, we will start evaluating. And the most important part is, this is already set by a clear direction from DST, that this evaluation has to be completed by 8 weeks and funds to be released by 12 weeks. Normally in TDB, we used to take 6 to 8 months of completing the project. This is a given task imposed on us, and we are already fully geared up to do this. We have refined our processes, internal processes approved by the board, and we will, sir, I can assure you that we will meet these guidelines. We will do the project evaluation within 8 weeks. Funding, as per the requirement of the company, ETEs, it can be convertible debt, it can be loan, it can be equity, or a mix of it, as per their requirement. We can be doing the co-investment with other sister AIFs, which will be selected, I think process is on. Through them, if they are funding equity, then we can give, and the company needs it, we can give a loan as well. So co-investment is also envisaged. The most important is our funding will be low cost and long term. So we are willing to give, in case of loan, it will be around 3 to 4% maximum. And tenure maybe maximum 15 years, maybe 10, 12, 15 years as per their requirement if they are TRL 4 and 5 onwards. Secondly, we are always criticized that in TDB you need so many collaterals and you want this and you want that. This funding, no collaterals, no personal guarantee, no corporate guarantees in this. So we can be funding it, and maximum funding as per the cabinet decision is 50%. And the sunrise sector, we have a list already uploaded in RDI website. Once this call is launched through, then any company who is qualifying on this criteria, they can immediately come and start submitting the projects to us, and we will be evaluating, and our target is to disburse at least some funding before 31st March. And with this, I can close my presentation, and I want to, जो हिंदी में कहते हैं ना अपने दिल की बात, तो थोड़ी 2 लाइन तो बोलनी पड़ेगी. माननीय मंत्री महोदय के मार्गदर्शन और सेक्रेटरी साहब के डायरेक्शंस में आपने जो हमारे ऊपर ट्रस्ट किया है, हमारे मतलब पूरे TDB फैमिलीज आज यहाँ हैं, आपने ट्रस्ट किया है हमें. वैसे हमने मांगा तो थोड़ा ज़्यादा धनराशि था, पर जो भी धनराशि आपने एलोकेट किया है और आपने एक टाइमलाइन सेट की है, हमें समय सीमा दी है, उस समय सीमा में आप कह रहे हैं कि आप इतना इन्वेस्ट करो. मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूँ ये हम लोग फुल्ली गियर्ड अप हैं, और उससे पहले आपको ये पूरी कमिटमेंट, हम जो भी आपने धनराशि एलोकेट किया है, होपफुली जो हमने इंटरनली अपने टारगेट सेट की है कि जब हम अपने 30वां वर्षगांठ मना रहे हों 1 सितंबर, उसके पहले हम इस पूरे धनराशि को आपको कमिट कर दें और फिर आपके पास आए हम दोबारा धनराशि के लिए. विद दिस आई वांट टू थैंक ऑल ऑफ यू, एंड जय हिंद, जय विज्ञान, जय अनुसंधान. थैंक यू.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Professor Abhay Karandikar, to deliver his remarks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Union Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, all the distinguished audience, Secretary of Technology Development Board, Mr. Rajesh Pathak, TDB board members, other eminent professionals, including investment committee chairman Dr. Saurabh Srivastava, Dr. Chris Gopalakrishnan. This is a historic occasion in the sense that all of you know that the RDI fund was launched formally by the Honorable Prime Minister on 3rd November. And since then, we had initiated the process of identifying the second level fund managers. The call for inviting applications from second level fund managers was put on the website. The last date was 31st January. And I must say here that we have received an overwhelming response from the investment community, and which is very, very heartening. So this also shows that with this funding, there is sufficient interest for crowding in the private capital as well. As you know that in the Union Cabinet, it was also mentioned that apart from a transparent, open process of inviting the second level fund managers, we can also appoint, the Technology Development Board and the BIRAC by nomination basis, and that process was completed, and that's how the Technology Development Board has been chosen as the second level fund managers along with the BIRAC of the DBT. While we are still doing the process of selecting the other fund managers, which are the either the fund of funds or the alternate investment funds or other focused research organizations, it is also heartening to see that TDB has already initiated now the process of inviting the proposals from the startups and corporates for making that investment. And as the Secretary TDB in his presentation has elaborated all the salient features of the RDI funds, and also the TDB's process that has been outlined. As you know that in this budget, the 20,000 crore has been allocated under the RDI fund. So, and hopefully, and the last year also, of course, this was budgeted. We were, in the process of identifying the second level fund managers, we could not, use the entire 20,000 crore that time. But now that, this process of appointing the second level fund managers will get completed in the next 3 to 4 months, I am hoping that, we will be able to, use this budgetary amount in the current financial year. Once again, thank you very much for coming here today. This call, as Mr. Rajesh Pathak also mentioned, is like a rolling call. Applications are invited, at all the times. And of course, processing will be done in batches by a professional investment committee, which was also mandated in the cabinet approval that the evaluation of the proposals will be done by a professional investment committee comprising of technical and investment professionals. And this is how we have mandated on TDB and BIRAC also, and also that will be mandated on the other fund managers. So I would like to congratulate the TDB for fast-tracking it, and I hope they will be able to select at least few startups, by before 31st March. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. And now we shall have the formal launch of the first TDB call under the RDI fund by Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, along with other dignitaries. Thank you. And now I request Honorable Minister, sir, to make his keynote address. Sir, your remarks, please.
No, I think much has been said. So at the outset, I just wish to congratulate the TDP and the entire team. Not being repetitive, I think for the media benefit and the other friends, I think one important feature to note is that this is one of the first of its kind of initiative by any government. We have heard of governments asking philanthropists or the CSR investors to raise funds, but we have not heard of government funding the private sector. And there's a very noble thought behind that, because to an extent, sometimes, to be fair to the private sector, I feel they have also been taken by surprise, because they never thought that we'd open up the nuclear sector also one day, and the space sector. So some of those sectors which most of us had reconciled would always confine to the public sector, as the convention had been for the last 6-7 decades. And for that, I must appreciate and thank Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, because of his out-of-box thinking. It was possible to break some of these taboos of the past. Now, as far as this is concerned, it has already been told to you, this is 1 lakh crore fund. And the merit of this is, the advantage of this is that it's very low interest, just about 2% or even flexible. It's going to be long term, it's also going to cover, give you a provision of equity covering the risk. So all that put together, I think this is the kind of easiest possible funding or loaning happening. Now, this, the first call launch, as was being mentioned by Professor Abhay, I think again it's a hard thing, as he was saying, 191 proposals we have received. And what I was keen to know, and I asked him, out of 191, how many are from purely private parties, because you have certain government entities also who are into this business. And it was so gladdening and gratifying to find that just about 25 were in one way or the other related to the government sector, either PSUs or otherwise a bank. So that means almost 150 or more than. So almost 160 from the private. So that means huge amount of interest and response from the private sector to this initiative of the government. Now it's the responsibility, because here on is the responsibility to carry forward the spirit with which this has been launched. Sometimes, whenever some new loan provision comes from the government side, the immediate mindset as it has been conditioned over the last 6-7 decades is how to grab the government money. So we have to make sure that it is being funded or being utilized for the purpose and the spirit that has been envisaged. The spirit is, as Mr. Pathak very nicely explained to you, you have to have T4 level. And that doesn't mean because some of the youngsters come and say, what about the beginners or what are the starters? But they have a huge ecosystem. So this also is a part of a larger ecosystem. And even within TDP, you have some other components of the ecosystem. As you were saying, the core funding is there, other things are there. But after you have matured to a certain level, then to take off so that then you can be on your own and we can have a healthy partnership amongst all of us. So that is the purpose that we have to explain to them. And of course, the department is ready to do the hand-holding also, and we have the ANRF also as a part of this. And now, I think our next test would be, as Professor Abe was saying, that by March we have a couple of startups. The nature of startups, the kind of themes that they have picked up, that too also, I hope we will be quite thoughtful to make sure that they are more of the futuristic and also relevant to the kind of overall roadmap that India has envisaged, even through this budget for the next 25 years. So all that kept in mind so that we maintain the sanctity of the intention with which this has been launched. And पाठक साहब ने दिल की बात कही कि मैं जल्दी खर्च करूंगा ताकि और पैसा मिले. I hope उससे ज़्यादा इस बात पर भी तवज्जो दी जाएगी कि पैसा सही जगह जाए. So, and also, I think it would also require a certain amount of counseling on your behalf to others, because many might have come with some other mindset. So sometimes the volume of responses for reasons which are not always very appreciable. So we would, because this is going to be a new experience, just as for us, even for the other part. So I'm sure we have taken off. The other is BIRAC, which has also been authorized. And they are also going to launch this call, because already 31st has concluded for them as well. So we are making a new beginning, and we also expect the support of the media, because you are going to be our greatest messengers also to educate the stakeholders what is this all about, because I think you are the best messengers for us. So having said that, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions? Anybody? Yeah, 280, please.
Sir, you have, Honorable Minister, you have allocated fund for this TDP. Now my question goes on, the people who are in the manufacturing side, which part of their, is the production side, is the land size, is the, raw material, for what is the main objective of the fund to give to the manufacturer, in which circumference, whether it is for land, for raw material, for production, for machinery, which are the areas which are you focusing? Thank you, sir.
I think that's a very generalized query, because as we mentioned, you are going to follow broadly speaking, the criteria of T4. So depending on the individual given project or proposal, what qualifies to be T4 would qualify for being funded depending upon the opinion of the expert committee. It's not necessarily that if you are purchasing cement, you get it. If you are not purchasing iron, steel, you don't get it. So I think that will be difficult to specify at this point. Or you want to add?
Yeah, I think there are some sunrise sectors which have been identified, like energy, biotechnology.
For that, you were saying what strictly for raw material, for that I don't think we can specify.
No. I think it is for the proposal you give for the cutting edge R&D in these sectors. And for that, manpower cost, equipment cost, that you can submit it as a part of the proposal.
25, please.
So good afternoon, this is Sanjay Agarwal. Sir, my question one is to Mr. Pathak. When you talk about TRL4, so we wanted to understand what is TRL4
Professor Kranjikar sir is more authenticity on this. But anyway, in PSA office has come out with a assessment of TRL level. It is already available in the PSA website. Anyone can do the self-assessment. And I'm not coming, sir. I'm just coming. So as a TRL level is from 0 to 9. So normally a TRL 0 to 4, if you say it is a concept in mind, then it comes to some proposal, you do initial research, etc., etc. If you are TRL 4 level, probably you have already reached to a level where you are now going to do a prototypes and all. So at least little advanced level. So TRL 4 below there are ANRF other schemes is there. In this scheme, we are going to take TRL 4 onwards till TRL 9 means they have already commercialized, this product is in the market. So it is from mind to market 0 to 9 is the whole TRL concept. And PSA office has come out with a framework where anyone can just go fill out all those information and assess at what TRL level are they at present. So it's there. I hope it's there.
243.
मंत्री जी बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जैसे किसी ने लोन लेना है आपसे, फंडिंग लेनी है, तो उसको कुछ गारंटी भी देनी पड़ेगी आपको, और जैसे कोई गारंटी। और दूसरे सर उसी के साथ एक और सवाल है कि जैसे आजकल हम अपना दवाइयों के क्षेत्र में वर्ल्ड में नंबर 1 है, तो उन लोगों ने जैसे रिसर्च वगैरह कैंसर पे कहीं और किडनी वगैरह पे कर रहे हैं, तो उस पर भी आप उनकी लेबोरेटरी के लिए, उसके लिए R&D के लिए लोन देंगे, और उसके लिए उसको बैंक गारंटी या कुछ ऐसा प्रोवाइड करेंगे, मॉर्गेज अपनी?
नहीं, कोई गारंटी, पर्सनल गारंटी, कॉर्पोरेट गारंटी जरूरत नहीं है। ये कंप्लीटली अनसिक्योर्ड लोन रहेगा, लेकिन क्राइटेरिया ये रहेगा कि प्रोजेक्ट एकदम कटिंग एज R&D का होना चाहिए। रूटीन R&D वाले प्रोजेक्ट्स या रूटीन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए ये फंडिंग नहीं।
214.
What is the experience of the government so far in respect of RDI fund?
No, the experience has just started.
Any more questions? Okay, 66.
Hello, Shibu Tripathi from India Today. First of all, congratulations on opening the call. I have a couple of questions, one for Professor Abhay and one for Dr. Singh. For Professor Abhay, I just want to understand, when you talk about hand-holding, what sort of hand-holding will be provided to the people who propose a new setup? Will it just be by TDB, or will you be roping in other sectors? For instance, if it's something related to drones, will you be getting other private sector to come in providing experience on how to build it? And for Dr. Singh, I have a question on if you could share some updates on the PSLV, the failure analysis report that is to be developed. So what is the update on that?
Hand-holding, by hand-holding we mean that any startups, which are funded, they are working in the deep tech area. Then the entire ecosystem of Ministry of Science and Technology, whether they are DSP labs or DBT labs or CSIR labs, or any other university where DSP, DBT, they have funded sophisticated equipment, etc. We will enable them to make use of those facilities if they require it. We can connect them with any technical expertise or mentorships if they need it. That's what I think.
I think because they are also in a way part of the larger body which is called ANRF, so which has all these enabling provisions. So RDI fund should also be seen as one component of a larger ecosystem. Now, as far as PSLV is concerned, I think every time this is coming up, I appreciate the kind of interest that the media has after Chandrayaan 3. So it created a lot of romanticism and given us a lot of space in the media to the other science news also. But I have reiterated more than once that, first of all, we don't call it a failure. And overall, if you see statistically, our record of first-time success is much, much better compared to all the other countries who are into the business of space, particularly including the USA. We had some of the gigantic missions like Mangalyaan, Chandrayaan 3, which were first-time success. So to that extent, in the space jargon, we don't call it a failure. Secondly, the acquisition comes कि पिछली बार भी नहीं संभला, अभी भी नहीं किया, पिछली बार भी खराब हो गया, अगली बार खराब हो. But the point here, the answer to that is that the perhaps what has happened is not the same that happened last time. You know, because and those who are in the business of space will appreciate both these points. Both the first one that I'm saying that we have a much better record. And second also, because it's just like, you know, to simplify it, because we have the non-scientific audience also. Sitting in this room, if the light goes off today and you scold the person in charge, and the fault that is detected is that the tube light went off. And tomorrow again goes off and you call him, "Bhai, kal bhi samjhaya, aaj bhi nahi hua." But the next day, the power cut has happened from the origin. So it's not that. But having said that, we have a failure appraisal mechanism in place. We have a committee in place. We are also, after, you know, in order to have more of confidence, we are also subjecting it to third-party appraisal. And much of it has been said in some quarters that we lose credibility, this, that. And since as I said the other day also, we live in an evidence-based era. The evidence is that even this year, we have 18 launches scheduled up, 2020. Not a single one has withdrawn. Out of these 18, 6 are private. 6 are private. Some of them startups, some of others, who have huge stakes. If they had even iota of loss of confidence, they would have backed out. Next year, 2027, we have 3 big launches by other countries, by Japan, by France, and by US each. Again, they have not got into any second thought. Because as I said, those who are in the business of space voyages, space expeditions, they understand that our reliability is no less than any other country. So I think we should be rest assured. If all goes well, and we are able to satisfy ourselves, we might even plan the repeat of this launch by the month of June.
138.
सर, इसमें जो आरडीए फंड, रिसर्च फंड है, क्या ये एनजीओ, ट्रस्ट या यानी इंफॉर्मेशन ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की जो कंपनियां हैं, क्या उनको भी सीधे डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट मिलेगा इस पे, रिसर्च फंड पे, अगर वो रिसर्च करती हैं, एनजीओ या सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप या कोई ऐसी?
नहीं, एनजीओज और उनके लिए हमारी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में दूसरी स्कीम्स हैं जिसमें हम उनको ग्रांट देते हैं. ये फंड जो है ये कॉरपोरेट्स और स्टार्टअप्स के लिए कटिंग एज R&D करने के लिए है प्राइवेट सिस्टम.
उसमें ये है कि अगर कोई एनजीओ कटिंग एज करती है तो फिर हम डिनाई नहीं कर सकते. सो क्राइटेरिया एनजीओ नॉन एनजीओ का नहीं है. क्राइटेरिया द क्राइटेरिया इज मोर ऑफ क्वालिटेटिव बेस्ड ऑन द थीम एंड द स्टेटस, the standard up to which the journey has happened, as Mr. Pathak was suggesting. TRF4.
26.
So Sagar from PTI. So you mentioned 18 launches this year, and I just wanted to know, is it in the calendar year or the financial year? And the 3 launches in 27 or 28? Samne.
No, this is calendar year. We go only by 2 calendars. One by the calendar year, other by the universal calendar, because the dates are finalized depending on by the heavens, depending on the configuration of the planets. So that's why somebody asked me after the Gaganyaan got delayed, they said, "Now why don't you come out with the next date?" I said, it's not you and me who has to decide. Like marriages is to be decided in the heaven. So sometime now I said June. Even if all goes well, we have tried to promise ourselves for June. But if we don't find a suitable date, or at that given date that is appropriate, we find some, still something more to be done, then we might miss that date. So in the launches, it's always imponderables happen till the last moment, as far as dates are concerned.
So there are also reports that the National Security Advisor visited VSSC in Trivandrum recently. And was it linked to the PSLV failure?
No,
it's being speculated.
I'm not aware of that, but as I said, we have a mechanism in place, so that doesn't correlate with that.
265.
Hi, sir. This is Udisha from the Business Standard. I have two questions. So, one, given the private sector is supposed to match 50% of the funding, then let's say when a startup is applying and filling up the application form, are they supposed to some sort of attach a letter that they have a confirmation from a private sector? Or is it that once you have given the approval, then they will scout for private funding? And in that case, what would be the timeline, the period that you will give them to actually find the funding in the private space? So second, you mentioned it's a collateral-free loan and 3 to 4% loan amount you mentioned. And the time period is also good enough, which is 15 years. But sir, in case a startup is not able to pick up and the investment is not coming along very well, what is the recovery plan that you have in mind in such a scenario?
No, I think as far as the 50% is concerned, there is a reason behind that because जैसे ये अपने दिल की बात कह रहे तो दिल की बात ये है कि है हम सारे इसी समाज की संतान, तो गुण और अवगुण भी इसी समाज के हैं. So unfortunately we have also come across cases जो एक जगह से भी ले लेते हैं, TDB से भी ले लेते हैं, वहाँ से भी लेते हैं, वहाँ से भी लेते हैं. At the end of the day, they have nothing, they have not invested anything from their pocket. So how to deal with this situation? Because this is, the fund has been, as I said, floated with a very noble thought. It should serve that noble. So in fact, more than once I kept telling Professor Abhay, I said, we have to have this. And he was always reminding me, yes, 50%. Otherwise, we have come across those instances. So in order to check that, because if that happens, then the very purpose would be lost. So that is why the 50%, this embargo is kept. And of course, they would have means to check that. They will devise those means also. And they will also get both, as you said, maybe written undertakings, or they have their own surveillance mechanisms as well. And if it doesn't take off, in spite of all, notwithstanding everything else, the scrutiny, the having the experts having been satisfied to the best of their intentions, even then something doesn't take off the manner in which it had to be. I think that kind of risk, of course, would be always involved. So we can't wait for the first step to take with the apprehension that the third step is, going to be met with some kind of hurdle or so we have.